Hello, true duelists. My name is Craig Fee, and as always, welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Update. You will not believe it, folks, but we actually have had a slow week. That's right, we have a reasonably lengthed update today. Praise Xenu, it finally happened. We start, as always, with YCS news. There is none. Moving on. I'm kidding, of course. There was one piece of news in regards to competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! This past week, namely the announcement of the Team YCS Las Vegas VIP qualifiers. You and your team can compete to earn VIP status for the event, set to take place February 18th and 19th in, quite obviously, Las Vegas, Nevada in 2023. These are regional events that will be taking place all over North America, and you can check Konami's site to see if there are any events near you to earn yourself the coveted VIP title for the event. What exactly does VIP mean? Skip right to round 3. That's right, you will start the event with a 2-0 record and won't have to duel until round 3. Not too shabby. And you're a very important player. That title alone is worth all of it, I would say. Yeah, that's all I got. We are desperate for some competitive news this week, so instead, let's turn to the OCG. Yes, the OCG, where Konami took Tearlaments out behind the shed and introduced them to God. By that I, of course, mean made them, instead of the only deck to play in the metagame, just became a solid one. Because even after the banning of Kit Kalos and limits to the Ishizu cards and things like Celiac and Rhinoheart going to 1 and Magnamut even, and all those other hits that the deck has received, this pie chart here showcasing topping decks from 13 tournaments and 82 different decks reveals that Tears still had 5% of top cut, which is comparable to the likes of Sprite or Dragon Link, and really showcases just how stupidly good that deck is. It also shows that Tri-Brigade has become the de facto deck to beat in the OCG land, at least in these tournaments, which makes enough sense when you remember that Link summoning is essentially the best summoning mechanic in the game, and Tri is an archetype that cheats out Link summons. Can't believe cheating out the best summoning mechanic would be a good deck. I'm astounded. Now, we can't know exactly how accurate this is all going to be relative to the TCG, as our hits are almost certainly going to be different to what the OCG has gotten, but if I were a betting man, I'd tell you that Tears are going to be a decent engine at worst for some years to come. So I hope you like Space Mermaids, folks, because can you believe it? Endless fusion summoning from the graveyard is good even in limited capacities. Wow, graveyard abuse is strong in Yu-Gi-Oh! If only we had learned that back in like 2013. Oh wait! Moving the fuck on. In Master Duel news, we've had yet another ban list, and they did in fact make some changes. Crazy, I know. Master Duel has seen the rise of Runic as the deck to play due to the ease of stun available to the deck, coupled with a draw 3 field spell in the right scenarios, resulting in many a broken keyboard from all you authentic gamers out there in the audience. And, you know, the ones that can't handle their fucking emotions properly. So, with a new meta terror, what's been done to hinder one of the most brutal examples of Floodgate.deck that players have had to deal with in quite some time? Card of Demise to 2. You did it, Konami. The format is saved. Thank Xenu, thank God, and thank Konami himself. As always with Master Duel ban lists, it does less than what you want and adds so many semi-limits that you'd swear that they're trying to make up for the lack of semi-limits that the TCG gives. Branded got a slap on the wrist. Striker got a slap on the wrist. Duality is at 2 for the memes. Is that the hit to Fluandereeze? Is Duality to 2? My God. Pendulum FTK is, I believe, now hit thanks to the limiting of Starving Venom Supreme King Dragon. And Block Dragon put to 1 is really cool as long as we all agree to ignore the fact that Gallant Granite exists. Oh, and the Party Boat has gone to 3 in what TCG players can only dream of having happen as someone who desperately wants to play Wind Up. It's so many cards, and yet I feel it's really done so little. So yeah, it's a Master Duel ban list. That sums it up beautifully, I think. Now, in the name of transparency and journalistic integrity, Sure, let's call it that. Journalistic integrity in regards to Master Duel. Those words, that order. Either way, I don't play Master Duel a ton, so I'm not, well, one, I'm not a smart content creator for not playing the online platform to play Yu-Gi-Oh! While making Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos, but two, I'm not the most versed in Master Duel broadly. So I could be wildly off base with some of what these hits have been for in the grand scheme. I've just been using my knowledge of the game broadly and looking at the hits and knowing that people are complaining about Runic, so just a heads up, I could be wrong. It's a best of one format with Max C and Runic as top tier. Shit is wild, and I will not pretend to understand it any better than I do. In some new card news, there's a new Albaz fusion monster that was revealed Thursday morning, and I get to cover it now. Albion, the incandescent dragon, is the latest dragon in the line of unending dragon fusions with those authentic Blue Eyes White dragon stats in attack and defense. It needs Albaz and any light spellcaster monster as fusion material, and yeah, it's the fabled Albaz and Ecclesia fusion. It's finally arrived. This dragon, who is only matched in its whiteness by me, and believe me when I say that, that is saying something, holy fuck, cannot be used as fusion material, and during your opponent's turn can quick effect summon 2 monsters from either graveyard, just so long as 1 monster ends up on each player's field. It also has the most lore-specific and least practical revival effect in the graveyard that I've ever seen. By attributing 4 monsters, 1 in each extra monster zone, and 1 each from both players' centermost main monster zone, you can revive this thing from the grave. Now, if you're wondering, excuse me, sir, what the fuck? I can only offer you a ticket and tell you to get in line, because I don't fucking know, dude. What the shit is that? Or that's what I would say if I hadn't seen a single tweet informing me that this actually makes the diamond shape of the Albaz lore, which is apparently everywhere and also symbolic. So that's neat. It's lore accurate. And if it ever does go off, it'll be the type of thing to laugh about because it's so niche and almost useless, the majority of us will forget about it entirely. Don't pretend you read all the cards on every Yu-Gi-Oh card you see. You just remember that monster has 1 key effect, and then you spend about 3 years forgetting to search off summoning Abyss Megalo. Shoutouts to 2013 me. You were a fucking idiot. In regards to this card's actual practical use, I've been seeing people say that you can play Jowgen with it to help stun the opponent out of the duel. So once again, we as a community are actively searching for and finding ways to ruin this game for each other. You can look forward to that from that guy or your locals at some point, I can almost guarantee it. And good God, do I love Yu-Gi-Oh! If you'd like to see the rest of the cards released this past week, or revealed I should say, you can check out this week's new card report, linked here, where I go over some bestial support and the weirdest fanfic version of Madolche that I think Konami will ever produce as an archetype. Like I said, I do love me my Yu-Gi-Oh! In community news, I don't have much for you this week. For what it's worth, CMOS charity is still going on and is close to the $25,000 donation mark, wherein we can get to see the donation duel with MBT and all the horror that will come from that, specifically for MBT, that will be enjoyable watching as people who are not MBT, which is great. You love to see it. So, if you've got a bit of spare cash, you've got today and tomorrow by the time this video is up to donate, and you can go ahead and do that. It's a good cause. And other than that, it's the holiday season, so I didn't see a whole hell of a lot going on noteworthy in the regards to Yu-Gi-Oh! So, I got nothing to report. This marks the last update and the last YGO Strats video of 2022. So thank you all for watching, and I can't wait to see what else it is that I can get up to in the next 52 updates I'll be making next year, every Friday. A new Yu-Gi-Oh! Single card history will be out on Monday. Farfa literally made the video that I was going to be making for my Wednesday video next week already, so fuck me, I guess. And a happy holidays and a happy new year from one Craig Fee himself. As always, I want to give a quick shout out and thanks to our sponsor today, the LIFD Magnetic Display. A fantastic way to display your favorite cards, and maybe even one day a signed Karibo brother by me. I don't know how you would find me, or where you would find me, or why you'd get me to sign a Karibo, but Truthfully, that thought terrifies me, but if it were to happen, you would have a great way to display that card. That would be in, of course, the LAFD magnetic display to keep it safe and on display as the centerpiece of any room. You can go ahead and get yourself 15% off of one by using the promo code YGOSTRATS15 or by clicking the link in the description. Thanks again to LAFD for support, and to you, true duelist, for supporting this channel. And so, that wraps it up for this week's update. As always, I'm your host, Craig Fee, and make sure you subscribe to YGO Strats for next week's update to impress your smoking Italian wife, and so you too can become a true duelist. Happy New Year, folks. Craig Fee signing the fuck out.